What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. And with me, as always, it's the great and powerful, it's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, y'all?
Tonight's brew is from Blue Point Brewing. It is their Imperial Sunshine. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? We're going to delve back into the streaming wars because I don't know if you have been keeping up, but it's basically just turning back into cable.
It's terrible. It's getting worse every day.
Yeah, honestly, it's getting worse than what cable was because at least, people talk about how expensive cable used to be.
Yeah.
$150, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about what you're actually paying for now that we all cut the cord.
Yeah.
What else, Obi?
We also have the recently announced Beatles 4 individual biopics, as some say, directed by Sam Mendes. So we're going to delve into whether that's a good idea or not.
Yeah. So, should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Very, very positive start. So let's just get rocking and rolling. This is episode 417 of the One Beer In podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out.
What?
4 a.m.
Okay, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and then we see where that one brew takes us. My name is Marco Dupa, and that's Adam Obesius Rodriguez. And speaking of you, sir, why don't you tell the people what we're drinking
I'm
tonight?
going to speak on it. This is the Blue Point Brewing Co. Imperial Sunshine. It is an Imperial blonde ale with oranges. Not much of a cold read here, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Blonde ale with orange and natural flavors. Tangy, punchy, enjoy the trip. 9.6% ABV. That's all we got from Blue Point Brewing Company out of Patchogue, New York,
Patchogue?
and Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Patchogue.
Yeah.
Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah. I know how that's pronounced.
Yeah, Patchogue. All right. So, listen here. Last night, I was trying to watch. I was just looking for something random.
Yeah.
Anything. Actually, what I was looking for.
Anything.
I was looking for a satisfying but dumb action movie, and not like. I mean, I've seen. All the classics 100 times. So,
Sure.
If anybody who's like, should have watched Terminator or Commando or any other Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, listen, I've watched them all.
Yeah.
A lot. Okay. And I was looking for something else. I've seen John Wick, all 4 of those, a million times. I landed on because I was watching Malcolm X originally.
Okay, yeah.
So this is how my mind works.
It fits the bill.
This is where I was sitting there.
A dumb action movie.
Watching, Malcolm X, the dumb action movie. And I got 45 minutes in, and I was just like, I can't do this right now. I don't have the bandwidth to watch 3.5 hours, and I know how this movie ends.
Sure.
So I said, you know what? I am on this Denzel kick, though. I do want to see something from Denzel, so I landed on The Equalizer. And I was like, oh, yeah, I started watching that the other day and didn't finish it, so let me go back to that. So now I'm like, what was I watching that on? And then I'm thinking to myself, was it Netflix? So I go to Netflix. I'm like, nah, it wasn't that. And then, but then I see The Equalizer 2 is on Netflix. So I'm like, okay, well, for sure, the rest of them are on here because the second movie's on here. No. Just Equalizer 2.
Remember when that used to be the case for like everything on Netflix?
It was just the sequel, but
Only
never
the
the original.
sequel?
I know. So weird. So weird that they used to do that.
Horrible.
So Equalizer 2 is on Netflix. Equalizer 3, I believe, is on Hulu, maybe? Hulu or Max. I don't remember. It's on... excuse me. So now I've gone through like pretty much all the streaming services that I have that I would think that it would be on.
Yeah.
Then land back to Peacock, and so the first one's on. So you've got three movies in this trilogy, and they're all on three separate streaming services.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch all three of these movies, you could either own them,
Yeah.
or you can click through three different streamers to finish this trilogy.
Pay 3 different monthly fees.
Yeah.
You want to know why we're best friends? I too watched The Equalizer on Peacock this week.
Really?
I sure did. I actually saw it for the first time. I had never watched The Equalizer. So yeah,
That's funny.
I saw it pop up on Peacock. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
On Peacock.
Fuck
and
it.
I watched it, and then I was like, well, where's part 2? And I searched Equalizer 2, and nothing came up.
Yep.
And I said, oh, well, I guess I'm done with this then.
Yeah, you basically, your best bet is to now Google the movie, and then like either Google where to stream, or sometimes the movie will pop up where it's streamed, because they know they have like a full list of like where the movie's available.
There's an entire
where it's
website
streaming.
based on that question too,
Yeah,
you know?
Decider,
yeah, there's a wheretostream.com or something.
And it just got me thinking about where we're at with the streaming wars and all this stuff. This coupled with the fact that Paramount Plus is looking for a buyer.
Sure.
So they're trying to get bought out. They're probably going to merge with either Netflix or probably. I'll throw a guess out there. Say Paramount Plus is probably going to merge with Peacock. I'll say Peacock or Max. I don't think it's going to be Netflix.
Probably not. I wouldn't think so. It seems like Netflix doesn't have much interest in merging with anyone.
Yeah.
They haven't been buying anyone out. They seem solely focused on like building their own thing.
Yeah, they're buying the rights to a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Paramount
Paramount
canceling shows.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Paramount, and same with Max. Paramount is about to be not dissolved, but absorbed by another streaming service. And do you think that those savings are going to get kicked back to us? No. Whoever buys Paramount is they're going to kick that back to us, and then whoever buys it's going to go up like
Money,
10, 15
please.
bucks. Amazon Prime has just pushed out their ads, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to pay $2.99 to upgrade to the ad-free version, which
To pay for what you were already getting forever.
there's already a guy who's brought a class action suit
Yeah.
against Amazon, because that's exactly his point.
Right.
It's like, I already paid for this. Now, if you want to start a new agreement next year after the contract that I already paid for, sure.
Yeah, right.
We can decide at that point. But you don't get to just add ads to the account that I'm already paying
Right.
for.
For almost a full year. If you bought the year this year, it's like, we're in February, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do?
No, it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
So you got ads on a service that used to be ad-free, which is one of the things that I liked about
Oh, yeah.
Prime.
We sang Prime's praises.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, it was like, before this, it was, I'd say if not my go-to, my most respected platform, because, again, it was a place that you could go for anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, even if they didn't have it, you could buy it.
Yeah.
But it was like one portal that you can go to and find it all.
Yeah.
But now it's like, they're as bad as anyone else, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and I also forgot that Disney Plus just pushed out their new policy wherein they're going to stop letting you share your password with other people.
Of course.
So
Inevitable.
yeah. So what's going to happen is every streaming service it's going to be solo accounts. I'm sharing an account with Steve for Peacock.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before they're like, you can only have one account.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a family account, you're going to have to pay another $10.
Sure.
And that person also has to live with, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, we already talked about how ludicrous it is that a family account means that you have to be in the same home.
Yeah. You don't see, like, Spotify doing that.
No, because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Family doesn't mean that you live together.
Right. It means Ohana. That's what I've heard.
So we're at a point now where we're really I hate to say it, but like I'd prefer to just go back to fucking, I shouldn't say that. The options are it. If you let's say we go back to how things were.
I feel like you're about to blaspheme and you stopped yourself.
I was about to, and then well, let's just say, okay, 15 years ago or however long ago, when you had to have like Spectrum or AT&T Uverse or any of these like cable services, Xfinity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this means anything to anybody who doesn't live in the South, but you would have these services, right? And you'd have this is for the kids out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is how TV used to be. Okay,
Tell 'em.
Let me explain something to you. Okay,
It would go over the air.
huh?
You didn't even need a wire. It will go over the air. Not Wi-Fi even.
No Wi-Fi.
No.
No.
Signal would come in like a radio signal almost, but with video.
Yeah, and it would just show up on your TV.
Yeah.
This box, and you had a little card, and that card was like your account. And you pop that into the box.
Yeah.
It sounds so ancient now
Sure,
that I'm thinking
sure.
about it. Pop this card into the box, and that opened up your account basically, and whatever you were paying for. And depending on like the packages that you paid for, you had certain channels, right?
Or you could get a bootleg box.
Or you could get a bootleg box.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and unlock all
And
of it.
steal shit,
Yeah,
which is how it should be.
sure.
So
Not that we'd ever do that.
I would never.
No.
Not once. You had to catch a TV show when it was on. And if you didn't catch it when it was on, you just didn't watch it. You just missed your chance.
You have your VHS tape ready to record.
Uh-huh.
And you set it for the time that the show's going to be on.
Yeah.
Then you leave the TV on and it'll record for you.
Well, that's even like before DVR, right? Because I think even DVR is a thing that most kids wouldn't know about.
Yeah.
So yeah, forget about even recording.
No,
VHS,
no.
you'd have to explain what a VHS is. We don't have time to explain that. DVR was a thing where, like you said, you could do exactly what Obi said, but digitally.
Yeah.
You could program it to, this thing's going to come on at 8 o'clock, and the DVR is going to flip to that channel and record that show for you, and then you could go back in and find your show later and rewatch it if you didn't have time.
Imagine that, but analog.
Yeah.
Not digital
Right.
video
Not digital,
recorder.
just an actual tape.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to watch any of these like premium shows, you had to pay for the premium package. HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, all these things were part of a premium package.
Yeah.
If you wanted to watch more sports outside of what was being shown on local channels and ESPN and TNT, you had to pay for the premium sports package.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, if you wanted to watch everything that you really wanted to watch, you were probably spending in the neighborhood of $250
Yeah.
a month on everything. But you got everything.
Yeah.
And you knew what you were paying for. There was no hidden well, there were hidden fees, but there was no
Sure.
there was no like it was what it was. They didn't trick you into, but it was like, listen, there's 50 channels. We can't guarantee what's going to be on those 50 channels,
yeah.
but you're paying for 50 channels, right?
The packages would change over time. Pricing would change over time. But
Yeah.
I think it happened at a much slower rate. Mm-hmm. And, I'm sure back then, if we were in our 30s and the 90s, we'd probably be like, the cable bill went up again. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why we're from Long Island all of a
The
sudden.
cable bill went up again. What are you going to do?
Oh. But yeah, no, I just feel like it maybe it's nostalgia talking, but it feels like a much more honest process and far easier, less complicated for you to pay for something without knowing you're paying for something.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to you weren't getting fleeced without knowing you were getting fleeced. It's like you're looking at the package just right there. It's like, all right, well, I mean, this is what we're paying for.
They printed it out on paper. You could look at it and see all the channels.
Exactly. And you could go through and it showed you the channel, and then it showed you what the number of the channel was. And it was a guide. It was like, TNT's on this channel and BT and MTV and everything.
In my mind, I only ever see cable TV on a big square projector screen.
Uh-huh.
One of those big screen, but back in the day, big screen TVs were projectors.
Yeah.
And they were about that thick.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I can only ever see
Big back TVs.
big old back TV.
Big old fat back TVs.
And if one of those projector lights out of the three that were in there went out,
That was
Over.
it.
Game
Call
over.
Call it a day.
Game over.
So you gotta go and get a new fatback.
Terrible.
Yeah. Or take it to a TV repair person. There was
Right.
people whose entire business model was you wheel your big ass TV to their place
Somehow.
and then they would be like, all right, I got the right parts. And they'd
Yeah.
go into the back. It was like a movie from the 90s. They'd go into their back and be like, I got the right parts. I'll give you your TV back in a week.
Yeah.
So then you just sat around with nothing because you couldn't play any video games.
Yeah.
There was no phones.
Yeah. You would have to call them on your landline and be like, hey, look,
Is my TV ready?
I think my TV is messed up. Can you fix it?
Yeah. Good golly, Miss Molly.
Man, everything was so much slower back then, right?
So now fast forward a couple years and you've got these streamers. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore, but I just ask myself this question every day. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So you have these streamers, and we're not going to go into the history with like Blockbuster, Netflix, and blah blah blah.
You
blah,
guys
blah.
know that. By
Yeah,
now.
you can go and do that research, but essentially,
research.
Netflix comes around, and they're like, "Listen, forget that cable shit.
Yeah.
You can cut the cord, cut that cable cord,
Right.
and it's all digital, baby. It's just gonna go right to your TV through the Wi-Fi, and we have a selection of stuff. You don't have to pay for any of this. There's no ads. It's just this selection of movies and sometimes TV shows. But back when it first started, I think it was just movies.
Yeah. At least that was
And
the focus.
Bad movies, too.
Yeah, real bad movies.
Not good movies.
Yeah, a lot of really bad movies and sequels.
And sequels.
As we
Bad
said.
movies and sequels.
Yeah.
A lot of direct DVD movie sequels.
Oh yeah. And at the same time, just to give you a time and place, at the same time, that's when they were also doing DVD through mail.
Right.
So you could still get your physical media that way.
Yeah.
To replace Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But I was going to say the closest thing at the time that I could remember, like when Netflix was starting to stream, the closest thing I could think of when it first dropped, and I'm like, oh, I get what this is, was like if you've ever been to a hotel that has like rental movies on their platform.
Yeah.
It's that, but, hopefully better.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not half porn.
And it was just there. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I can just watch this. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
pick
have to-
whatever you want, and you don't even
It's
have
just
to.
there.
You don't have to pay for the individual movie. You just
No, they
select
just
it.
have a selection of things that you can just watch. You just
Yeah.
click on it and the movie started.
It felt like a cheat code.
Yeah.
It felt like you were getting much more than you deserved for how much you're paying monthly for it. And
Now you fast forward, you take that evolution and you watch it go tenfold, right? Nothing has evolved faster, I think, than streaming services and how they're handled and how they handle us.
Yeah. Gotten real cocky real fast.
Right. Cause they're at a point now, it's like they know. They're like, what are you gonna do? You gonna go back to Spectrum? Spectrum's in the corner like shriveled and I'm always here. All right. So if we're being realistic at this point, if you want to watch everything that's being shoved in your face, if you want to be a part of the zeitgeist and be a part of the conversations that are happening right now.
First of all, there's not a time in the day. You can't.
Absolutely not. It's impossible.
You can't.
But let's just say from the most recent stuff, what's that Jason Sudeikis show? Ted, right? No, not Ted.
I was gonna say what?
Not
What?
Ted. Why did I think Ted?
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. So it is Ted.
Almost.
But it's not Ted. Ted Lasso
Yeah.
is on Apple TV.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Ted
Is
is on Peacock.
Sure.
Succession was on HBO Max. Better Call Saul was on Netflix.
Yeah. Which actually originally you had to pay for it on Amazon.
Yeah.
On Prime before it was streaming on Netflix.
Right.
So
Yeah. So 4 different shows, 4 different streaming services.
Yeah.
Let's be conservative and just say that they all cost $10, which they don't. We know that Netflix
at least
is
12, right?
All of them are at least 12. I think Apple TV is $9.99.
Okay.
But let's just say, let's just say for research purposes, we're going to do some math here. I'm going to bring up the calculator.
Break out the calculator app.
Let's say, 12 times 4, which you probably do in your head,
$48,
$48. That's $48, no tax. just to watch the 4 shows that people talked about
Sure.
in the last like year or so.
But
right?
Marco, you get so much more than those 4 shows.
But do you though? But do you? Okay, let's say maybe I'm undervaluing these things a little bit. Sure. $48 is not $48 to watch a TV show. $48 is to watch everything that's on these streaming services. Okay, I'll give you that. But then you go to these streamers and the things that you want to watch aren't on there.
Yeah.
The things that you do want to watch are leaving soon. They're always rotating these shows and movies that you want to watch.
Always out of season too.
Always
we
out of
talked
season.
about that
Yeah.
before. Like the horror movies are always gone when it's October.
Makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to watch Freddy Krueger? Okay. It's February. You could watch it now if you want.
Sure. He's wearing a sweater.
Yeah. It's fall colors.
Sure.
Like, right? We're getting into, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So sure, $48 gets you all those streaming services and maybe you get more value out of it.
Yeah.
But that's not all though. That's just 4 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to watch everything else, you've still got Paramount Plus. You've still got Hulu, which is part of a Disney Plus package if you want it to be. But if you buy Disney Plus and you want to watch Hulu without ads, you still have to pay more for the Hulu without ads.
Right.
So you're paying either this Disney Plus package or you can pay for them individually.
Yeah.
Either way, you're paying like $20.
But with that package, you're also getting ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you're getting ESPN Plus.
But if you don't watch sports, then it doesn't really matter. You still get it anyway, and
Right.
you're still paying for it anyway.
really, the biggest value out of the Disney Plus package right now is Hulu because it has the most diverse stuff on it. Because if you don't like sports, you're not going to use ESPN Plus.
Right.
And Disney Plus, if you don't want to watch Disney movies,
Pretty niche.
for how much Disney owns, the actual Disney Plus the Disney Plus itself is
Yeah.
like, if you don't want to watch Marvel movies and Disney movies,
Star
like,
Wars.
That's it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only reason I still have it is
I cut the cord from funny. I cut off Disney
the
Plus.
umbilical cord.
Yeah. There is no literal cord, man. But yeah, I cut the streaming cord from Disney Plus a couple months ago. And really, I'll tell you, the only thing I really miss is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. There's so much Star Wars to consume.
It's a lot of Star Wars.
And a lot of it's good. But, you know, like, I'm not itching to watch She-Hulk, you know? Like, it's...
No.
It's fine. Like, I can go without watching. I'd rather watch Succession.
Yeah.
The only Marvel thing that I miss, or that I've missed, is Echo. I want to watch Echo.
Echo seems cool.
Thought that looked cool.
Yeah. I still have Disney Plus, and I haven't jumped into watching Echo. I'm too busy watching a movie from 2014.
Yeah, yeah, a good one at that.
A good one.
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
Really good.
It was really good.
It was really,
Dude,
really good.
I mean, Denzel must have a lot of respect for Antoine Fuqua.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because he's like, dude, whatever you want to do.
he has to have like a blood pact with the man, right? It's just like, I'll do whatever you want.
There's a
'cause-
moment in Equalizer where he's running amok now, and he blows up one of their factories. It just cuts to him blowing this factory up.
Yeah.
It doesn't even explain how he got there, what he did.
Doesn't matter.
It just is blowing up, and
Yeah.
he's walking away from
Slow-mo.
it. Classic slow-mo explosion in the background. Guy doesn't even turn around, and I'm just like, I would think that Denzel Washington was above something like this.
No,
Not even.
but the funny thing is, he still somehow elevates it.
He does. He really does.
That movie with anyone else in it doesn't work as well as it does with Denzel.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
because he's taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
He's as good in that as he is in almost anything else.
Yeah.
Because like he can't help himself but put on a stellar performance, even when he's phoning it in, which you can tell he is with these movies.
He's just too good.
Yeah.
He's just too.
There's no
too
big
enjoyable.
emotional beats, but there's subtle dark stuff that he does that's just like he's so good.
The entire speech he has, and we'll get off of this because this is not an Equalizer podcast.
No.
But
it can be.
It could be. It could be.
We got to watch all three because I actually haven't seen the trilogy
I'm
either.
down. Now that I know the formula of the Equalizer, I am so down. The way it ends, I'm like, yeah, let's Go!
Well, and also, I like the fact that there's a trilogy. They're going to keep making these movies, and so I know that he's going to survive. So I'm just like, I just want to watch him for an hour and a half, just kick the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that.
I want to see someone get their comeuppance.
Yeah. I don't need my expectations subverted in a movie like this. It's a dumb movie, and I don't need you to be like, oh, we killed Denzel halfway through the movie. I was like, no, don't do that.
You don't need to do that.
Just let him keep kicking ass throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. But I was going to say, I was very early on watching this movie like, this is like a dad action movie, very clearly. Like, okay, I know I'm getting into. And then he has that speech in the diner when he's talking to Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
And he alludes to his past and his wife and these different things. And my jaw drops to the floor. I'm like, this guy's acting his ass off.
Right.
With such a dumb movie.
And a thing where he just doesn't have to.
It works. It somehow works.
He just doesn't need to do it, and he does it, and you're like, you're too good for this, and yet here we are.
Yeah.
I think maybe because Fuqua got him an Oscar, he was like, whatever you want me to do,
100% what it is.
Yeah.
He's like he has his Denzel card.
Yeah.
Like he calls out the number on that card whenever he needs him.
Yeah.
And he'll be there.
He will be there.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
talking about because the Equalizer is so good.
Yeah. But you were saying the main point of bringing up the Equalizer in the first place is that it's ridiculous. You have to go to 3 different streaming services to watch the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Or
you can just go on Amazon or something, or your local Walmart probably, and buy a 3-pack of the Equalizer trilogy on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever.
Which is where we are now. So
yeah.
We've basically, at this point, 2024, kind of come full circle because not just, let's say I got all the money in the world and I can pay for all these streaming services and it's no sweat off my nose. It doesn't matter. It's not just the prices. It's the predatory way that they handle these services.
Yeah. And the way they've been slowly closing the vice on us for years now.
Yeah.
And it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
And when's it gonna stop?
Exactly.
Like, at what point are they gonna start losing customers? Because that's the only way that they're ever gonna slow down the price hikes, the additional ads, all these anti-consumer things that they've been doing. All of them. Yeah, every single one.
What is the end game? What do they even want from us?
I don't have anything left.
What is in the Netflix CEO or all of these streaming services, the CEO's mind, even from the most capitalistic standpoint?
Yeah.
What is the end result? To be able to play ads, make money off the ads, but like play them every 5 minutes? Like, what do you want from people at this point? I mean, you're taking and taking. So Netflix has their ad tier that they've created. They
but it's innovative. It's new. It's a good thing for people who maybe don't have all that much money, and they can still enjoy the wonderful product that is Netflix.
Dude, and the way that they sell it to people is if they're doing them a favor. Also, you have to pay more for their HD package. So if you want more clarity, if you want the show to look better,
which should not exist anymore.
No, it shouldn't.
That should not. Everyone has a 1080p TV at this point.
You telling me I spent
the vast majority?
I spent $700 on this TV, sometimes more.
Yeah.
Let's just say, at its highest, you spent $1,000 on a TV.
Yeah.
And Netflix is gonna throttle the quality that I can watch.
Yeah. Let's pixelate this a little bit.
Oh, so you've got that. Not only that, but then you've got services that are just like, hey, nobody's watching this show, so we're just gonna take it off. We're just gonna put it back. Actually, we're not even gonna put it back in the vault because we don't have the space for it. So we're just going to delete this thing completely from existence.
Fire. Yeah, that's the HBO way too.
Yeah, it's. If you can't at this point read the writing on the wall that they're just gonna take whatever you love
Yeah.
and burn it with fire.
It's like I am watching you get radicalized, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Welcome.
You have no idea. I was on Amazon and I was just filling my cart with all the movies that I've been wanting to watch and have to
Make
search.
a list. Make a list.
I'm
Make a
creating
list.
it, yeah.
You find when they go on sale, you get an alert, and you can say, "Oh, I could, I'll spend $8 on a 4K DVD. Why not?"
Yeah.
You know?
I'm starting with my favorite directors first, so I have like all the Tarantino movies in my cart.
Sure.
Then I'm gonna do all the Nolan movies that I don't already own, because I do own. I mean, I have an okay collection of movies. It's it's a decent collection, but it's like there's so many. It's not just my favorite movies, but it's like even the silly like The Equalizer. That should just be. You should just be able to watch it at this point. And I guess this is the point. That
Library
I'm
of
getting at.
Congress. Put The Equalizer.
Exactly. It is good enough
make
to
it
be
fair
in the Library
use.
of Congress.
We need to watch it.
My point, I guess, that I'm trying to get to is at where we are now with how much money we spend on streaming services and how many of them exist.
Yeah.
It should just be super simple to watch. It should not be this hard anymore. Is my point. Because now not only is it the streaming services, but it's individual channels.
Yeah.
AMC Plus. TNT Plus.
Sure. Yeah.
ABC Plus. Plus what?
Plus what? Plus money.
Yeah. So, there's nothing that we can really do about it except for, I guess, boycott them. I mean, cancel your Disney Pluses.
Sure.
I never had Netflix to begin with. I've always let others have it. And then, so here's the thing. I was always using other people's Netflix, right? And as soon as they did this password crackdown thing, I was like, well, that's it. I'm not watching Netflix anymore. Because personally, I don't really see what you guys see in Netflix. I don't think it has the value that other people think. I mean, I've seen, like, currently they have some good stuff on there. But compared to the rest of the streaming services, to me, it's got the lowest value. And it's one of the more expensive streaming services, and it takes the most advantage of people. And yet what's on there is, watch this Netflix produced TV show. Watch this Netflix produced movie. And it's like, bro, I don't watch this Netflix produced reality TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck out of my face with this.
Well, the thing that has now been made them even worse is the fact that the tier system is now in effect in a way that people who are on that lower tier, on the bottom of the Titanic of Netflix, can't access all of the movies for licensing agreements or something.
Yeah.
So I just saw a tweet about it, that the Thanksgiving horror movie that came out last year.
Yeah.
It's now on Netflix, but apparently if you're on that lower rung, you can't access it. You can't watch it.
So you got to watch ads. You're admittedly paying a lower price, and this is Netflix doing you a favor.
Sure, yeah.
You brokey.
Yeah. Right.
You pay a lower price.
That sounds like a slur. You brokey.
You brokey. Look at the brokey. You pay a lower price. You got to watch ads.
Yeah.
And they're going to, now that the knife is in your abdomen, they're going to twist it and say, but there's some new cool shit that you
don't
can't
get.
access. So
Right.
if you want to watch this thing, even though you're already forced to watch ads, and you know that the fidelity of what you're watching is in the fucking gutter,
Enjoy 720p, loser.
they're going to fucking twist the knife in your stomach and say, yeah, but that thing that you probably wanted to watch, you still have to pay.
it's not
You
there.
still have to jump up to the tier
ain't
that you can't afford
They dangle
to
it in
watch this
front of
movie.
you. They dangle it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's obviously only the start. That's the thing. It's only going to get worse.
Right. They're monsters.
Yeah.
That's it. They're monsters.
Yeah.
And this is all, hate to say it, but you don't want to hear people complain about capitalism, but like it all
I knew you were going to say that.
it all goes back.
Yeah.
It all goes back.
Well, look, we need to market correct as consumers. We need to put our foot down and say no to these tyrants.
But it's too late for that. It's too late.
Stop watching streaming
Here's
services.
the thing. We talked about this when Netflix first did the password crackdown.
Yeah.
And we said on the show that what you need to do is exactly what you just said. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And you know what you pieces of shit did? Not only
You didn't vote with your wallet.
you did not vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
Not only did you not stand your ground, a lot of you were kicked off your family's plan and then bought Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, if you did it like now, it doesn't matter. But
Sure.
then it mattered.
Yeah.
When it was happening, when they was telling you,
It was a watershed moment.
and they realized in that moment that we can do whatever we want.
They bent us over the barrel, all of us.
And instead of fighting, we just sit there and took it. And they were like, at this point, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And the market.
You should do that in the Trump voice.
Which part?
You can do whatever I
I
want.
can do whatever I want. At this point, they bent us over. I bent you over a barrel. And I thought to myself, can I do this? Am I really going to do this? Are they going to let me do this? I thought about it for a moment, and then I stuck it in, and I thought...
Oh, God.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Grab him by the password.
I and the market saw this, and the rest of them said, well, Netflix is doing it, and they're one of the biggest streamers out. And if you're like HBO... Or not Paramount, but HBO for sure.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we got better content than they got, and they're doing all this shit to their consumers.
Right. How
We
can we
can,
not?
we can take advantage
How
of
can
our
we not?
consumers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't we?
Why
can't we?
Yeah, it just takes one to make that happen, and that's what's happened.
Yeah.
So that's why we're
Watershed
here.
moment, like you said.
Yeah, that's why we're here. So
To complain.
yeah, that's because that's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
That's all we can do at this point, unless because I think it's unfortunately at this point where we have been so conditioned to be able to watch everything and anything we want on demand that there's no going back to cable.
Yeah.
People joke about it like, oh, I'm gonna get back on the cord. No, you're not.
No,
you don't
no.
want to have to get back home from work and be like, I gotta get done making dinner soon because our show's coming on at 6.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's not going to happen.
And not just that, but it's like, hey, we're gonna watch the one episode for the week, and then
Right.
and then we're gonna
Right.
go to bed.
It's
Yeah.
just it's not the way that we work. I say, elder millennials onward just don't work that way anymore.
Yeah. We just remember what it's like.
Yeah. We have the awareness, but I think we are sucking on that teat as well.
Yeah.
And can't get off.
Yeah. It's just, I honestly wish, ignorance is bliss, right? I wish that I was one of these Zoomers who didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And can you imagine being 14 or 15 right now where all of the shit that you watch is just at your fingertips and you're not paying for it. You don't even know. When I was a kid, my parents would alternate from, there were moments where we were really poor and didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And so there was nothing on TV because we weren't paying for anything.
Yeah.
So
Get the basic channels.
yeah. And then there were moments where we do well, we come into a little bit of money, and then all of a sudden, holy shit, we've got HBO Max and Cinemax and all these premium channels. But I never once stopped to think about why that is. Where is this coming from? I would just, Pop's got DirecTV.
Yeah.
And he got all the shit.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So now I get to watch softcore porn.
Sure. Yeah.
And I also get to watch, Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It's the only two things you need as a kid.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is Skinamax
And
Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
And,
Makes you a man.
And honestly, it was the reason I am a cinephile now is because I had access to all that shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, there were times where I would stay up to I'm 12, 13, staying up till 4 a.m.
Watching Skinamax.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emmanuel in
This
space.
is really bad blocking.
I don't like this.
The composition's off a little bit.
You turn her a little bit. Man.
Yeah. Who was the DP on this? Different meaning on Skinamax.
Yeah. So I'm watching, you're a kid and when you have these conversations with people who are like, I was watching these movies when I was too young to be watching them. I mean, we really were too young to be watching some of this stuff. But it was because like I had there was no parental controls. You just had all access to, and you turn on HBO.
It's home box office, okay?
Home box office.
Nobody's checking your ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
for the record, my family, my nuclear family, never had cable.
Oh, really?
Never had cable. We had basic cable. So, however, Jason, my cousin, had HBO all the time, and they would even pay for the pay-per-view like fights and stuff.
Oh yeah,
we'd always go over and watch.
Dude, anybody who was paying the pay-per-views for the it was,
and we watched it on a projector screen,
right,
on a projector TV, a big ass projector TV. Yeah.
I mean, even now people talk about pay-per-view, and there's no such thing as pay-per-view.
No,
you don't. I mean. Yeah, you do like pay-per-view buys for like these HBO or not? I'm sorry, YouTuber fights and all that shit. But mostly, I mean, who's really, who's paying for this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's doing
it
this?
doesn't really exist anymore because I mean, even with like MMA now, like it's you watch UFC through ESPN Plus. You need that first.
Yeah, so you need a streaming service to just access the pay-per-view.
Then you're given the nicety of being able to pay to watch the main events.
Paying your way to get through the it's like paying the door price. So you're paying at the door just to get in.
Oh, and I can give you an additional $80. Oh, thank you.
Dana, thank you.
I've been wanting to give this to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So, I mean, really at this point, it's just 45 minutes of us just complaining about where we are, where TV is.
Yeah, I mean,
but
what can you do?
What you can do is do what I'm doing and do what you've been doing. Is you really have to think about, when all this stuff comes crashing down, when the infrastructure implodes on itself.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to watch your favorite movies? Are you going to be able to play your favorite video games?
Yeah.
Your video games.
Well, and you brought up a good point that I'd like to underline a little bit, is that I buy my favorite movies, but I also buy some weird stuff that's hard to find.
Yeah.
Because I know there's going to be a day where I go back and I'm like, I'd really like to watch Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere to be found.
It's nowhere to be found.
In
fact, to that point, there was one day I really wanted to watch that movie, and I found it on Tubi.
Tubi? Yeah.
And I watched it with ads, and it felt really weird. It felt like, I don't know, I felt like I was like behind a hidden door or something. It felt like I was accessing something I wasn't supposed to be. Because they were just like, yeah, we got all this shit. I mean, you have to watch a couple ads, but we got Tubi has fucking everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't discount the free apps because a lot of them have actually a really good catalog of stuff.
You're just going back and watching ads, and then it's like, all right, well, we're back to where we were. The reason that you're spending all this money, to kind of go back to the nostalgia thing and like, kind of give you guys a timeline.
Yeah.
What was advertised to you was pay us and you don't have to watch ads, because the money that we would make off of the ads, you are already paying us to access this service. And so enough of you guys pay into the pool and we'll continue to give you content, no ads. That's what was advertised to us. So that's the to me, the biggest betrayal is the ads. Anytime a streaming service is like, here's an ad tier, or we're gonna add ads to this thing, or anytime that pops up, I'm just like, what am I paying for then?
Yeah. You
promised me.
I'll tell you, it feels the worst.
That
I would honestly rather pay an extra $1 if you guys want to bump the price up by $1, I'll take that over having to watch ads.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to admit it, but like, I watch a lot of stuff on Amazon Prime, and I'm probably going to pay that $2.99. I'm going to wait and see what happens with this class action suit.
Yeah.
But I might, here's the thing. I've been thinking about this actually. I might just pay the $2.99.
Yeah.
So that I am a part of the class action suit.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
4D chess.
Yeah.
You got to delete this part, though, because they may look back and be like, well, you knew.
Yeah, but knowing is not, it's not implicit.
It's half the battle.
You're on fire today.
Whoa! It's that espresso. Oh, I gotta do that every time. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and I literally had to deal with that last week because I told you about the Guy Ritchie movie, The Covenant.
Uh-huh.
And it's I wouldn't call it a dumb action movie, but it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
It's more heartfelt though, like it has a real meaning behind it.
Yeah.
That I watched almost all the way through. I had a half hour left, I think, of it, and I went back into it post the ad rollout for my tier, and I started off, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm ready. I have my dinner, and I'm like, yeah. Play 30-second ad. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's fucked.
I felt betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
I felt boondoggled.
Boondoggled.
I felt swazzled. Like it was ridiculous.
Swing doggled.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And
it's fucked up.
I don't like that. So I'm probably gonna do the same. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
I'll probably pay for that because, again, I think despite that tragedy, it's still probably the best single platform. If I had to pick one, it might be that or Max.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And man. Oh, guys. Just do your part, which we know you're not going to do.
Yeah.
Which is, because here's the other thing. I guess is the biggest takeaway from this is the amount of money that we are spending to keep these services alive. Think about if you just funneled that back into other shit, like physical media, for instance.
Sure. Yeah.
We were $48 for just 4 streaming services. That's not taking into account Prime, which is either you can pay month to month or you can pay. I pay the yearly thing, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's what I've always been doing.
There's usually a discount if you do pay a year ahead, which, I tend to, if I'm going to invest in it, I'm going to invest a year.
Yeah. Which is the really fucked up part about the ad thing is like I paid for the year.
Exactly.
I paid for the year.
I get that.
So Prime, we didn't talk about Paramount Plus or we didn't take into account all of them. Disney Plus, Paramount. Look, I can't even think of all of them right now at this point.
There's too many to count, yeah.
So all of that money, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm going like, all right, yeah, but I don't even, I really just go through them to find like a random movie that I want to watch at this point and then hope that I'm paying for the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, that's just not how it should be. So
I agree. I'll show you some stuff that you should probably get on physical media.
All right. I mean, I've got I bought a couple of things.
Okay.
I've got some stuff.
Okay.
I've got the Mummy trilogy,
It's a good one. It's a good one to get.
Got the Mummy.
It's a good one to get.
And
especially if you can get it with the
when I got Heat 4K Ultra,
of course.
Yeah.
Get it with the download code.
Yeah.
That way, if you're too lazy to get up and put the disc in, or you're traveling or something, you can still watch it.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good idea.
Best of both worlds.
Good idea.
You get movies everywhere or Vudu.
Yeah. You can't watch DVDs on a PS5, right?
DVDs.
Yeah. I really don't know.
I'm not sure. That we can try that. I know Blu-rays, obviously. Blu-rays in 4K.
Yeah.
You definitely can, but DVD may be a generation too old.
Yeah.
But
If we can, then that expands
Opens the
my
world.
collection. Because I have like way more DVDs.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is nowadays, like I just went to Goodwill late last week. Just like 3 DVD players just laying out there waiting for people to pick up.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just maybe that's
like
what I'll do. I'll
for
just grab a DVD player.
$10. You know? It's nothing.
And then just have a bunch of DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have so many movies on DVD. I just was like, I thought, oh no, it's a dead technology. I'm not going to be able to use it.
No,
So-
it's still out there. You could still watch some DVDs.
Yeah, I got a box full of them in the garage.
I still somehow have more DVDs than I do 4K or even Blu-ray, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. DVD was the thing.
Yeah.
For a while.
It was. For a minute, it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any hooser.
Speaking of streaming services,
Speaking of movies.
you know,
Yeah.
you got 4 movies coming out
Yeah.
that you're probably gonna want to watch.
The Fab Four.
The
Somewhat
Fab Four. The Fab Four. Sam Mendes of I just looked at his filmography.
He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's done a lot of shit.
American Beauty.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I think he did Skyfall, right?
He did one of the Bond movies. It's probably Skyfall. I think it's Skyfall.
Let's see here. Road to Perdition.
Oh man,
Great movie.
dude! You want to talk about a movie you need to own?
Yeah, that's a
Road
good
to
one.
Perdition is the shit.
Yeah, it's really good. Underrated. Like, people don't watch it enough.
I don't know if people just couldn't.
Underviewed, I should say.
Yeah.
It got good reviews, but
Maybe people just can't see Tom Hanks in that way.
he's great in it,
but
though.
he's so
He's great in
good.
it. Jarhead,
Jarhead.
Revolutionary Road, Skyfall,
Yeah. Okay.
Spectre.
Oh, he did both.
Yeah, 1917, obviously.
Yeah. That was the big one.
Yeah. And he's done a couple others.
But he
in
didn't
there,
do the latest Bond, right?
No.
No Time to Die.
Yeah, no, he didn't do that one.
Did you ever watch that one?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught it in a weird. I was just like a random night. I was just like, well, I'm just gonna watch this last.
It's a weird
Bond
Bond
movie.
movie.
It is a weird.
It's a weird Bond movie.
It's a strange movie. A lot of things kind of come to fruition or culmination rather, and you just kind of left feeling like.
I kind of agree with the people who say it's not really a Bond movie because
Yeah.
it doesn't really feel like one.
No, it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
very sad,
Sad, it's dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like,
It kind of literally feels like a letdown, you know?
yeah,
When
Yeah.
Bond is usually like, ba-da-ba-ba, you
Yeah.
know, like it's supposed to be swaggering and
yeah, and
fun.
it's not. It's very Dark Knight Rises. Where
Yeah.
you're like it's
Yeah,
over,
yeah,
and we can all see it and feel it.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig is tired.
His number's up.
Well, and the other thing was probably didn't help that his contract negotiations were so public that everybody
Yeah.
knew he was like. He got brought back by the money. He's like, all right, fine,
Right.
fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll do another one. But this is it.
One last case.
And they're like, all right, $50 million, that's it. I'm not doing another one after this. And then you see
Yeah.
the movie and you're like, yeah, maybe you should.
I got it.
Maybe you should
Yeah.
give up the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He decided to be a Kentucky detective.
And what a decision he made.
It's great. I couldn't be happier.
I
for him.
honestly wish he would have done more of these. I wish there was more Knives Out than
Yeah.
there are Daniel Craig Bond movies.
Agreed.
I want
Agreed,
more
honestly.
and more and more,
Yeah.
man. Ryan
Yeah.
Johnson can't write these things fast enough.
No.
I love it.
I'm so happy that he's found a
Confounds me
thing.
so. He's so good.
He's great. Yeah.
I want them to bring back Lakeith Stanfield. I thought he was going to be like his partner, and I guess he was just his handler in the first one, and then or maybe better yet, they give him a different partner in every movie.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And-
the
and-
the like it side character of the day.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Sam Mendes
Yeah.
is directing 4 different biopics for all 4 members of
The Beatles.
And this is unprecedented, but it does make sense for a group like the Beatles
Yeah.
to do something that's never been done before when it comes to these biopics.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I've spoken a lot right now. I'm gonna throw the spotlight to you to start off.
Okay.
How do you feel about these 4 movies happening?
I mean, they could definitely pick a worse director than Sam Mendes. I think his track record's pretty good. Some movies of his I'm not like a huge fan of, but overall, yeah, I mean, I think he's a solid director. What I want to see out of this, though, because this was literally just announced, I would like if each of these movies were sort of a different style of film. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, make them unique. Because I think what makes the Beatles special is that each member really did bring, like, his own thing to the melting pot of that band. Mm-hmm. Their own style, their own humor, their own spirituality, what have you. I think it would be really interesting to try to, and obviously only 2 are still with us at this date. So it would be kind of hard to do this equally across the board. But if they really like encapsulated who those guys were individually in each of those movies and like their side of the story, what have you.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool project to endeavor upon. I mean, horribly tough. I can't imagine the pressure that Sam Mendes is under right now. But you know,
I mean, he didn't have to direct all 4. He could have just picked one.
Sure. I mean, that would have been actually pretty interesting too, is if like
4
there's a different
directors,
director for each one.
But all produced by the same studio.
Yeah, all produced by the same studio, all under the same umbrella, and they all have like, you know, the same production value and such, but like a different
they're
viewpoint.
essentially creating their own, unless they go with a new cast for every movie, they're kind of creating their own cinematic universe. Right? Because you're going to get all this that's actually kind of cool. You're going to get all this crossover, hopefully, with the same actors doing these movies. Yeah. And I wonder if it's going to be like some of the same scenes, but seen from
a different
that
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is an interesting thing to do with biopics.
Yeah. Well, something has to be done interesting with biopics.
We talked about it, the point I was about to make.
Talked about it ad nauseum off mic. Like, the biopic is dead.
It's dead.
It's over.
And yet we got the Bob Marley one, and now we've got the Amy Winehouse one coming out soon.
Right.
And then this Beatles one. It's like we're running out of pop stars.
There's always new ones. It's fine.
Yeah. They can always just dig the graves. Oh, and the Michael Jackson one. Speaking of digging the grave. Yeah. They got the Michael Jackson one coming out.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested in any of this anymore.
Yeah.
Because I guess the worst part about all these movies is if it's estates and people who are still alive who have decision-making powers, they always just want to put their
it.
Yeah. And people talk a lot of shit about like the Doors movie, but it was dark and weird, and it painted, you know, it didn't paint Jim Morrison in the best light.
Who talks shit about the Doors movie?
A lot of people don't like that movie.
I'll fight them. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
One of the better biopics.
But it's stuff like that. I mean, I really like Ray, and I do think that
Ray's great, yeah.
There's moments where they do kind of show that he was a womanizing piece of shit when he was
drug addict
But yeah, and they spend a lot of time on the drug addict stuff, but then, you know, he comes out on the other side pretty triumphantly.
Oh yeah.
And even that, it's just like, again, I mean, this is what we talked about off mic, but like once Dewey Cox comes out and there's like a parody of it, it's like, well, I mean, think about all the other parody movies that have come out.
Yeah. After
that, you have to get like creative with, because if you've already got writers and people who are like, we've created this work of art that is sending up your thing.
Yeah.
Like the Scary Movie franchise. Now, every Scary Movie has to acknowledge, in part, some way that they are aware of what's going on, right?
Sure.
You've always got like the black character going like, I'm not going to be the first person that dies in this movie.
Sure.
You have to send it up, and you have to let the audience know that, like, listen, we know.
To be fair, Scream did it first.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you. I don't know if I talked about it on the show. I watched it.
You watched them, yeah.
Did I talk about it on the show? Did I tell you guys?
I think you mentioned that you were embarking on it, but I think you only told me off mic
that I had actually done it. Yeah.
Which, again, I haven't finished it yet, so shh.
Okay, yeah. I want to talk about the latest.
Not the New York one. I haven't seen the New York one.
Okay. Well, I'm not. No spoilers, but yeah. I mean, to your point, yeah. The Scream did it first, and then Scream continued to do it.
Yeah.
And continue to evolve with the times of scary movies and the ways in which scary movies get parodied all the time.
Parodied.
So they were smart in knowing that, like, there's, you know, they talk about the reboot, the requel. You know, they talk about. They're aware of, and you know, maybe the meta stuff starts to get a little bit too wink at the audience.
Sure.
But it's all in good fun, and it's them going like, we know, we're not, we're with you guys, we get it.
Yeah.
Biopics haven't done that. They're still, except for the Elvis one. The Elvis one was, but that's because it's Baz Luhrmann, and he was like, I'm gonna make a fucking fantasy movie.
Yeah.
But-
Well, and the Elton John one too. It was.
I haven't seen the Elton John one.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Elvis is a little better because it. I feel like the Elton John one was like a half step.
Yeah.
Whereas Baz Luhrmann does not know how to do half steps.
No.
So it kind of blew that idea out.
Yeah.
But, the idea of we're going to tell this story, but it's going to be from a fantastical perspective. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be more about how the music makes you feel and less about literally documenting what happened.
Yeah.
This is not a documentary.
We don't need the beat by beat. And to get back to the topic at hand, if you're gonna do a movie about the Beatles of all people,
The Beatles.
we really need Rob here. But if you're
Yes.
gonna do a movie about the Beatles, and you're gonna do something as ambitious as 4 biopics at the same time of all 4 members, then you've really got to come from a perspective that is not just beat by beat. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope that that's not the case, because it's just going to be such a letdown. There's so much stuff, so many things that you could do. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
What about this? What if each movie is from a different era of the Beatles? So we start one character's in their early days.
Yeah.
And then right when they really hit. Then from there, the U.S. invasion into the mid 60s.
Yeah.
Later 60s. Then the 70s era towards the end. And then the breakup and post.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each of those we pick up the lead with a different character.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I like that. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Maybe we should call Sam.
Okay.
See how he feels about it.
I got his number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him know. I don't know. It's too early to say what's going to happen. We don't know who's been cast or what's been going on. It's just announced.
It was just an announcement, yeah. And Ringo saying with peace and love.
With peace and love.
Have you read the news today? That's what he said.
He's such a dork.
It's funny.
He's like
a funny guy.
He's fun. He's fun. I love Ringo.
I love Ringo too.
See, he just seems like a silly little guy.
Yeah.
Just a silly guy. And yeah. So who knows? Maybe this could be, a transcendent moment in the biopic genre, or it could just be another. And the thing is, it doesn't even fucking matter, because these movies are gonna do blockbuster regardless, right? If you pick somebody popular enough, it don't matter how good or bad the movie is. People go and see these biopics.
Sure.
They just go.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they don't. It's actually funny that they don't make more. Which one didn't people show up for?
The Marley one.
Oh, I didn't see the box office of that one.
Yeah, I mean, it came out and people didn't show up for it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, did they not though?
I don't know.
Check the box office on that one.
Check the box.
Because the thing is, I don't keep up with these fucking movies, but.
Okay,
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see.
What was it? What'd they call it?
One Love, maybe. I mean, pick a popular song. And that's probably what they called it. Yeah, One Love. I hate that so much.
Me too.
Well, it got shitted on critically. One Love.
Well, I
say the headline of the first article.
I sit corrected. According to Rotten Tomatoes, the headline is Weekend Box Office Results. Lots of love for Bob Marley over Valentine's Day. Wow.
Date movie, apparently. What's the actual numbers?
It beat expectations according to Variety with a $52 million holiday debut. Damn.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Never
People
mind.
don't, and 42% on Metacritic. So this movie, this is, according to critics, not a good movie.
Yeah.
And it did 52 million.
Wow, good for them.
But
80 million worldwide.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. If it's a popular artist, people will show up for these biopics,
That's
man.
big time,
So
yeah.
with this Beatles shit, we have all
That's a
this
shoo-in.
speculation,
Yeah.
and we want these movies to be good movies
course,
and
yeah.
interesting movies
Yeah.
and weird movies. But even if they did a by the numbers, walk the line, Ray
Yeah.
biopic, they're still going to do
course.
fucking crazy numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Sam
got
Mendes,
four
and
of
you got
them.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Sam Mendes is in a position where he's like, dude, I could do no wrong. It's a biopic.
I could do anything.
I can do whatever I want as long as I get the casting right. And sometimes you don't even have to get the casting right.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy playing Bob Marley, I'm sorry.
Doesn't
No.
look like Bob Marley.
And he's English, and he's in these different interviews where he's like, I know, I shouldn't be doing it either. I get it. It shouldn't be me. Somebody should have done it. But I looked at it, and I thought, what a challenge for me to do this.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, and I'm Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Then you shouldn't have done it.
You telling me they couldn't go to Jamaica and find somebody that sounded like Bob Marley? They couldn't find one.
I don't want to talk about it.
Couldn't find one.
I mean, you could find someone in England. You can find someone in London.
Yeah, right.
That's
right,
actually Jamaican.
right.
Who
right.
has a passing resemblance
Exactly.
to Bob Marley. You kidding me?
Yeah.
You kidding me right now?
Yeah. By the way, that impression of that guy is so far off from his actual accent.
It's fine.
I couldn't. It
Okay.
couldn't.
They,
have been.
no, shh. They don't know. They don't know.
I want you to know. I want you to go look up that interview so you know how bad that impression was.
Oi, bruv.
Oh, bruv. I couldn't do it.
I can't
I'm
do
doing-
it.
And then I decided maybe I could do it.
And
now
then
I'm
I
doing
did it.
I did it. And here we are. One love. Bob Marley.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. It's my movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's all I got to say on that. That's all I got to say on that.
Right. Okay. All right. Listen, I can't say what's going to happen with this Beatles movie, but what I can say is that there's 2 things that we can do right now that we do have control over, right?
Right. That we must do.
We must do.
Yeah.
And number 1 is the cheers of the week. So, Obi, start us off, good sir.
My cheers of the week goes to Future Islands,
The band?
the band. Their latest album called People Who Aren't There Anymore.
Okay.
Sleeper hit.
Really?
Banger. Really good, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Surprised. I would say a moderate Future Islands fan. Former hater.
Yeah.
Didn't like the lead singer's voice very much. I thought he was over the top. Thought he was trying too hard. You see his live performances. Everyone says, "Oh, he's such a good live performer." Let me look up his name real quick.
Okay.
Samuel T. Herring
Okay.
is his name. I mean, very distinctive voice, obviously. Does one of those, you know, very throaty, you know, very throaty, very. I see. Yeah. Very animated. And he's very animated on stage. Crazy man on the stage. And early on, I didn't really get it. And
Yeah.
I thought he was over the top. Wasn't really feeling it. Over time, grew on me.
Okay.
I liked a couple of their albums, started listening more and more. And then this one came out, and I was like, oh, let me give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I did. And it's great.
Okay.
It's you know, I'd say in my, like, probably top 3 currently for best album I've heard this year. Very early.
Yeah.
But
So
still,
it came out this year.
came out this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, one of my favorites from early in 2024 so far. Very solid album, top to bottom. Loving the sound. There's a lot of synth in it. It's kind of there's a little bit of post punk, a little bit of power pop,
Yeah.
and I think all around the performances are very good.
Okay.
Recommend it.
All right. I could cheers to an album that I've been listening to, but I think I'm going to change directions because my original cheers was this.
Okay.
And it is something that you guys probably have been waiting for. Helldivers.
Oh.
Helldivers 2. So I'll tell you what, kids.
You've been diving without me?
I had to figure out what was going on. I had to get in there and spread some democracy and figure out, get my bearings.
All right.
And also, if I waited for you, I'd be waiting my life. Okay?
I would play it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a PvE game, so
Yeah, exactly.
there's nothing stopping you from.
Maybe I
I mean,
will.
did you buy it?
Not yet. I was waiting for you.
I bought it. So here's my cheers, and this is your invitation and your invitation to spread some democracy throughout the universe.
Okay.
The game is as advertised and as good as you have been seeing online. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I only played for like an hour, maybe 2. I played for like 2 hours now at this point because I got it and I was able to play for a little bit. The server thing has been an issue.
Yeah, there's been I don't know if you saw they're coming out with an update pretty soon to hopefully fix a lot of the server issues.
Yeah.
Because I've heard about that.
It's pretty bad. As it stands, it's kind of hard to get into a game when you're just trying to like quick play.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult. I mean, you can play by yourself, but like
I did hear some people have been working around it by starting their own game.
Yeah.
And letting people join them.
See, and that's what I was gonna do with like you and you know other people who wanted to jump in. I was gonna like start a game and then because you don't have to play with other like strangers. You can if you have 3 or 4 people to play with, then it's a PvE game again. So you don't need a working server to fight against other people. You just need 4 people to get in the game with you.
Yeah.
So it's so much fun. It's so much fun, and there's the progression system seems to be very like it makes a lot of sense. Like do these objectives, and the objectives like make sense. Like they want you to destroy certain things, do this thing, blah 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 blah. And it's not like Call of Duty. Sometimes the progression system is like get 8 knife kills in multiplayer, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to jump into multiplayer just to progress past this. I'm playing Battle Royale right now. I just want to play Warzone. Yeah. But the only way to progress is to jump back into multiplayer and get my fucking dick kicked for and I don't want to do exactly. Yeah. This is like, listen, you got to be there anyway, so kill this thing 15 times. Sure. And that's what I like. I like a natural progression system. You jump in with strangers, and even jumping in with strangers, like it's one of those games where, you know, no one is trying to be better than anyone else. Yeah. And so I think that is the key to preventing a toxic fan base, which is that, like, listen, we're all here to have fun and try to complete these objectives and you know, spread democracy throughout the universe, kill these bugs. Some Liber-Tea. Yeah. And when you're not trying to be the best on the, you know, in the game, and you're just trying to cooperate and like, listen, you know, the only way, like, you can't do it by yourself. You can't do it alone. Right. You can't spread democracy alone. No. So so far so good. I'm with everybody else who's singing the praises of this game. So
okay,
all right.
I guess I gotta download it then.
Yes, you do. Right now, do it on your phone.
Right now.
Before he does that, we have to review these beers. So, from Blue Point Brewing, it is the Imperial Sunshine, a blonde ale with orange and natural flavors. It is at a stout 9.6%. Obi, what'd you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It is tangy and punchy, and I did enjoy the trip. So, as advertised, really. Yeah, I think the only downside to this one, other than, you know, if you're not trying to have something that heavy, is Are you a bear? These are the effects. If you're not trying to be a bear right now, I think the only downside for me is that you get a little bit of what I would describe as like almost orange peel, which can get a little bitter.
Yeah, you know? Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So for that, I'm gonna have it probably be around a 4.5.
4.5.
I like it. I would recommend it, but you know, with some qualifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a time and place beer too, because it's very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 5. But I do agree that it is a time and place beer. This is not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? you can you know when you blonde ales, Belgian ales, stuff like that, like really works. Heavier, boozier.
Yeah.
But it is, definitely not for the faint of heart.
Yes.
You do not want to sip on these things. Or you do want to sip on these things.
Yeah.
You don't want to be throwing these bags. But
You okay?
I gotta feel like I'm just talking in circles.
It's okay.
But flavor wise, I think it's delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It's tasty.
Really well balanced.
Mhm.
You know, the orange peel, the orange and natural flavors. The orange, I do agree. I see exactly what you're saying. I don't know if that's so much as the blonde ale and the higher ABV kind of giving it that bitterness, but you're right that it does. It's a little bitter on the finish.
It evokes an orange peel.
Yeah, and not just like sweet, tangy orange flavors, but like orange peel, orange zest. On the finish. So, for that, I can't give it a perfect score, but I do think it's a really good Imperial Blonde. Yeah. So, and you can find this at your local grocery store. This is one of those. Like, I didn't go and search it out at a brewery or a liquor store.
Yeah, I've seen that one around.
Yeah, this is around. So that's one of those things. I think maybe we should start like kind of identifying the fact that like you don't have to, like, you can just grab this.
Yeah, big box.
Yeah, this is out there. So
Yeah.
let us know what you think. All right, 4.5 for me.
No,
or
4.5 for me.
For you. We need to end this. 4.5 for you, Obi, and a 5 for me. Do you think we got it?
I know you got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, and that's it. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.